Hello, my friends. Today, inspiration comes from a scene that occurred a couple weeks ago. We were doing some yard work, and I was in the backyard cleaning up, putting away all the clippings from mowing the grass and trimming trees and hedges and bushes, what have you. When I, hear a familiar sound, the sound of baby chicks. And I'm like, where did these baby chicks come from? And so I kind of curious, looked around the yard. I thought, oh, maybe it's, outside, maybe in the neighbor's yard. But a bird flew right across my head, almost landing on me, and landed on the fence. And I realized it was a duck. And so the little noisemakers were the ducklings. And that also reminded me of a time when I was in Chile. I was young, probably 9 or 10, and we had gone to what's called La Feria, which is kind of the farmer's market, and they sold live animals, the chickens and ducks and goats, cows. You could buy a cow, and at this one, my grandmother bought me a duckling, and so we took it home, and of course I took care of it for, the time that I was there. And this sound is what reminded me of that. At any rate, I realized the ducklings were in my yard. So I started to look for them because, I have 2 dogs and mortal enemies of ducklings, especially if they find them. So I finally cornered them. I found them and I tried to escort them out to the front yard while Mama Duck is flying back and forth trying to get the duckling's attention to fly her, walk her way. They didn't quite fly yet, so to waddle her way. So as I get them to a certain point, one of my dogs, the pug, sees there's other animals in the yard and makes a beeline for him, like, oh my goodness, she's gonna chomp on them. Fortunately, the curiosity got the best of her, and she just stopped and sniffed, and of course the ducklings ran the other way and back behind the shed where the pug couldn't reach them. So after a few minutes of trying to get them back and forth and out to the front yard, they finally got out to the front yard, and what a great reunion for Mama Duck and her little ducklings. And as they waddle away, they're crossing the street, avoiding traffic, the neighbor came out and told me, oh yeah, we saw them a couple days ago, and they were in the neighbor's pond. But back then, there were 3 ducklings. So, a moment of sorrow came over me, because now, instead of 3, there's only 2. And it reminded me of a song that I used to sing with my family, our whole family. I have a big family, 8 uncles and aunts just on my dad's side, with about over 40 cousins, and we would get together on Saturday afternoons and sing, and we would sing this hymn that it reminded me of this past couple of weeks, which is Under His Wings. Now, this hymn was written by William Cushing back in the late 1800s, and it was inspired by Psalms 17, 8, and 9. Keep me as the apple of your eye, hide me in the shadow of your wings, from wicked who assail me, from my mortal enemies who surround me. You can also find some text about feathers and wings in Psalms 91:4. He will cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you will find refuge. So this past singing is what reminded me of this song. So why don't we sing a verse of this song?
Trust him, I know he will keep me.
Under his wings, under his wings, whom thy soul can save. Under his wings, my soul shall abide, safely abide forever. You see, what a great song. Under his wings, I am safely abiding. Though the night deepens and tempests are wild, still I can trust him. I know he will keep me. He has redeemed me, and I am his child. Under his wings, who from his love can sever? Under his wings, my soul shall abide, safely abide forever. Isn't that a great promise? You know, this song is from the late 1800s, and it may have some old language, but it fits today. There are a lot of things that could be our mortal enemies. You know, the virus for one thing, or any other disease. The social injustices that are occurring. You know, it is a very important time to seek shelter under God's wings. And hopefully, we can abide there forever.